So now, we're hiring these really smart and talented folks right out of college.
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
some things that we need to anticipate that they might need that maybe we wouldn't naturally think of, and how can we really set them up for success?
Okay. Well, here's what's cool. Gen Z has learned from the millennials. So they're smart consumers. They've grown up with digital media and smartphones, not just cell phones. So 35% of them plan to save retirement in their 20s. I mean, that's just crazy because I don't think the millennials were thinking about retirement and still aren't, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, Salary is still the top motivator. Health insurance is a must for them. So that's a big issue in the election. Um, 6 in 10 of them say I'd work weekends for higher pay or to make more money. So this is a shift from the millennial generation. If I were just to share a few tidbits to an employer on recruiting and managing and keeping Generation Z, I would share these sets of words. Just log these into your minds, listeners. First of all, openness and contact. They don't like flow charts. They like flat places. And even though you probably need a flow chart, I would say access to a boss is huge. 40% want daily interactions with their supervisor or their boss, and they feel they've done something wrong if they don't get that. 60% want multiple check-ins every day. So openness and contact. Number two, fun and play. Now, I know some of you, when you hear those words, you're going, this is a workplace, not a playground. But they love to feel like we have gamified this job or this task that we've got going on. I don't know if Abby told you, Brandon, but we have a ping pong table and cornhole, and we give recess at our workplace.
Nice.
But we really want them to know the biggest game right now between 8:30 and 5 is to win at this thing called work. And they seem to embrace it. Speed and change. Their attention spans are 8 seconds. So good luck with that, teachers, employers. But here's what I would say. Even though they have an 8-second attention span, that only means they'll wait 8 seconds before getting diverted to something more engaging. They can be engaged for much longer. They'll binge watch Game of Thrones, for 3 hours. So we've got to be engaging with the work we have them doing and ownership of that work. That's one of the biggest pieces of data I put in the book, Brandon, is we have given them unwittingly an external locus of control rather than an internal locus. In other words, they think their boss is going to own it, their mama is going to own it, their teacher's going to own it. And we have fostered this growing reality. And I think we need to give them ownership and let them make mistakes and let them see, you can recover from those mistakes. A few more real quick.
Yeah.
Fluid and adaptive. They love change, meaning and mission. Employers, think about how you can profile the job you're giving them in light of the strategy and the mission of your organization. Is it making the world better? And by the way, if it isn't, you might want to change jobs yourself. Every one of us ought to be doing something that makes the world better, but we need to communicate that. And then lastly, growth and learning. I believe Generation Z, based on the research we've looked at, they want to feel like they're growing and they're learning and becoming better versions of themselves all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas my generation said, I'm just going to, go to work and do the deal and get the watch at the end of my 40 years of the career. They want to be growing and changing. So some employers call this the gig economy. I'll do a gig here for 2.5 years, another gig here for a year, have a gig on the side over here. I might have 5 jobs in my 20s. And the reason they do that is they want to be growing and learning all the time. And if they don't get it on the single job they've got, they'll do another gig on the side. They'll drive for Uber,
Yeah.
So one employer, Brandon, you'll love this, said, the corporate ladder has become the corporate Lilly Pad. So if we want them to not hop so much, we need to provide a place where perhaps there is reverse mentoring going on.